Hello, everyone. My name is Eric. I am your mentor here on Amazing Talker, and welcome. We're really glad to have you on the team. So today, like I mentioned to quite a few of you in messages, this is going to be an introduction to kind of what the action steps you're going to be able to take for now, and so that you can develop a successful page here on Amazing Talker. Um, Now, most of the stuff I'm going to be talking about, to give you a quick heads up, is going to be general guideline stuff. I will be sharing with you things that I've done, my success story, and along other things. Right now, I'm going to start sharing my screen with you so you get an idea of what we're going to be looking at. So hold on one second. Let me do that here. Okay. So now you'll see what we're going to talk about today is all about Amazing Talker and the analysis that I have made. So we're going to just take a quick step here of understanding what is Amazing Talker. Amazing Talker is an online teaching platform for many languages. Our focus is to be English teachers. So if you're not here as an English teacher, then let me know in a message on Amazing Talker, and we'll discuss further how we can help you. But all the information I'm going to be talking about is how to be a successful ESL teacher here. Okay, so there's a couple steps that we're going to talk about in specific here today. Of course, there's going to be more stuff in detail that we will talk about later. But these are kind of like the key points that we can get you going on right now. Maybe some of you have already started some of these, but maybe there are things that you have missed out on. We will talk about each of them. First one is going to be how to set up your page for success. Okay, there are a few really important things here that I will go through in detail that I think you guys will really enjoy. Next one is how to set up ideal pricing and how to scale your pricing. A lot of people think that we should start really, really low, or maybe go really, really high to attract your ideal customers. But there is a strategy behind this, and I will share the statistics with you on that. Number three is the keys to being a great online teacher. Notice that I have online here in caps because there's great teachers. I'm sure all of you who are watching this are great teachers already, having lots of experience. But there is a big difference between being a good classroom teacher and being a teacher who does one-on-one or small groups online. And I will try to tell you the differences between these. And then finally, for today's video, is going to be just a summary of what we talked about, some action steps. And like I mentioned to many of you already, there's going to be some free teacher materials that I have used and created that I will be sharing with you that have gotten me and my other mentees some fantastic results. So please stay tuned for that part. Hopefully you will watch this entire video. If not, you might miss out on how to get those materials. So please make sure you watch the whole video completely. All right, so let's go on to the next page. Just to give you a little introduction of myself, my name is Eric Matthews. I've been a teacher for 9 years. I have taught, of course, online, but my very first job was, teaching college students at my campus. Fell in love with the job, and so I decided to continue with it. I've taught in places like Mexico, Japan, Taiwan, and now I'm back home in the USA. But teaching entirely online, and I can't tell you how much I love it. It's totally my ideal job. And so I've been working here on Amazing Talker for just 11 months, but even though it's been 11 months, I feel like it's been way shorter because the time flies. I enjoy all of my students. I enjoy the conversations, the classes, the personal friendship level that you are able to create in these kind of classrooms. It's just been such a wonderful experience, and that's why I really am excited to share it with you today. On a personal level, I love the outdoors. I love things like camping, rock climbing, hiking, just going outside and getting some fresh air. And I have a wife and a 5-month-old son, so I might look a little tired right now because I haven't been sleeping very much. But if you're a parent, you definitely get what I'm talking about. Yeah, I have a gorgeous family, and very happy to have them. And finally, I'm just a big fan of swimming. I go to the pool all the time, and so if you ever want to, hang out, you'll find me at the pool. And so the reason I'm sharing this personal experience with you is because being able to connect on a personal level is the whole point of Amazing Talker, in my opinion. I have found all of my success, and with all the hundreds of students that I have had and currently have, mainly because I'm willing to be open with them, just like I'm being open with you right now. And people really connect well with that. And just like this quote I have here, where there are friends, there is wealth, and it's true. You generate friendship with people and be real with them. Don't look at them as a price tag, rather look at them as a person who you can actually create a story with, create meaning. Then you're able to really generate a much deeper and more enjoyable experience here. So that's definitely something that if you understand already, then technically you already understand everything else that I'm about to teach you. So yeah, let's go on to the next part here. So without further ado, I'm going to just dive right on into what is the road to success on Amazing Talker. If you want to take notes, feel free. This is a recording, and this is a recording for you, so I recommend that you watch it again and again. If there's anything that you do have questions about or feel confused. But yeah, I'm going to do the best I can to be as clear and transparent as possible. So let's dive in. So on Amazing Talker, you all have your own profile pages already. And for some of you who are new, Amazing Talker generated a page for you on the actual profile where they give you some content of things that looks appealing, things that will really help you look like a professional teacher on Amazing Talker. But if you look at other people who have the same situation as you, who just started, they actually have the same exact page as you. So when students are looking for teachers right now and see that you have basically the same content as others, it's not going to look good, because they're going to think, oh, maybe you're just a robot, or maybe you're just another teacher here who doesn't actually take much advantage of making yourself stick out from the rest. So just keep in mind that individuality is going to be a real key factor of making yourself successful here on Amazing Talker. So to be more specific, I'm going to talk about the first point here, which is profile image and your title. And I say they mean trust. And it's very true. Having a picture really up close, like the one I have here, where it's just basically your face, you have a white background, got your little flag here. It tells your students everything about who you are in a very quick moment. As you see in this picture, I have my hair tied back, my beard is trimmed, I'm wearing a professional photo. It just shows that you are, confident. You are, you're going to be professional. You're going to be, someone who someone wants to have a class with, because you look like the part. You look like a teacher. And I think this is a very important thing to represent. For example, if you were a clown, or if you were a police driver, okay, police officer, excuse me. A police officer would not wear a clown suit. and a clown would not wear a police officer's suit to go to work, right? It just wouldn't work for them. They wouldn't make any money, or they would get in trouble. So you should really take the way that you look as serious as well, because if someone's looking at your photo and you're just taking a selfie, maybe they're going to think you're not serious about this job. So definitely find something that looks good and professional. I can't tell you how important this is, because I've had 4 different photos on here, and the previous 3 were like selfies, and I got no students when I had those. As soon as I took one of these more professional photos, and it doesn't have to be too crazy. Just go to a white wall and have someone, like my wife took this photo for me, and then that should do it. You don't have to get professionally taken photos. Okay. Let's go on to the title. Title really should represent you in an amazing way. So for me, I took this from my mentor, which is basically have an adjective that you think really represents you. And I just took amazing because, this is called Amazing Talker. So this was my idea, follow the name that already is being used. And I didn't see anyone else using it. So that's why I used it. I put an adjective here, and then I put my name around the emojis, which, is going to be a key role with your content. And I'll get into that later. And then down here, it's basically talking about what your main focuses are. And so for me, I'm a TOEFL teacher primarily on Amazing Talker. I also do other things like grammar and conversation, but truly the thing that gets me most of my students, because I prefer it this way, this is my preference, is to teach TOEFL. And then if anyone else has anything they maybe connect with, you can put that keyword here as well. Finally, I love languages. Many of you who are watching are coming from different language speaking backgrounds, like Japanese and Spanish, and maybe even Chinese, or more. And so telling the people that you speak these languages, right here, even though it says here, the people who don't click on your profile yet, they will not see this. They will see the information on your title right here. So having this represented clearly on the title, if you do speak other languages, is my recommendation. But you can always add other things that you feel happy to do, like teaching children, or helping with IELTS, which is another test, or TOEIC, something else you could teach. There's a lot of things that you could put on here, but just make sure the keywords that you're really interested in giving to your students are represented here clearly. Okay, and the next one is the next level. So you can get more specific here as well, like telling how many years of experience that you have, how many students you've taught, how many hours you've taught, anything. I put adult teacher here specifically because I used to teach children for many years, and I love children, but I don't want to teach them anymore. So I teach adults, and I make that very clear at the top so that people recognize, okay, I can't, my 14-year-old son or my 7-year-old daughter cannot have class with teacher Eric. That's okay. You have to be willing to say no to some people in order to get yeses from the people you want. And I'll get more specific on how you can do that in a moment's time. But let's go on to the content. So the most important thing is talking about these points. And the most important points should be first. Any details should be last. And why is that? So when someone sees your profile, they don't actually see the full details that you've written. They will see about these many. I have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bullet points worth of information that they can see. And so these are going to be your most important ones that you want to reveal to your potential students. Okay, so right here you can see I'm an English native. Okay, that's a crucial one for English teachers. Like I mentioned to you guys, I've taught in different countries. I'm certified. I got lots of experience. And because one of the uh, big things about Amazing Talker is that it is a Taiwanese platform. So most of the people who use Amazing Talker originally were from either Taiwan or Hong Kong. Now it's expanding more and more, but the general market still is dominated by these two countries. So me here talking about my experience in Taiwan, being fluent in Chinese and even a little bit of Taiwanese sticks out to people. But if you are say just starting, your market may be very different from mine. Expressing that maybe you speak a little Spanish, or expressing that you speak another foreign language like Japanese, you might be able to find the same success as I have. And then, have something else that really sticks out. So, and then after these 6 points, you're going to have more details that you can show as well. And like I previously mentioned, for those who just started, Amazing Talker has been very kind to give you an outline of how to fill out the information. I really recommend that you follow that outline, what they give you, and then fill it out the same with your personal details. And you can also refer to my profile, which I will give as a link later, so that you can use mine as a reference as well. One big thing to know, if you do use other people's profiles as references, make sure you don't use, this is very important, don't use the same emojis as that person, because you're doing yourself and that person a disservice by doing that. You're making it so that we look like copies, and we don't want that to happen. You don't want to hurt the other person that's trying to help you, right? So make sure if you're going to copy someone's profile, change the emojis and fill in your own information. Okay, very important. Okay, rules. What are you willing to do? Sorry, this is one we haven't talked about yet. So what you're willing to do is going to require me to stop sharing the screen for a second. So hold on 1 second here. I'm going to take us down to this and then go to my profile. Okay, so you can still see my screen. This is what my Amazing Talker looks like. And I'm going to show you really quick. You need to click edit profile, okay? And then you gotta figure out what you're going to be interested in teaching. So this is where your avatar picture is. All right, let me go back. Personal info and subjects. Click this one. You can figure out what you're willing to teach. You have your name, you got what you're willing to do, your languages, and then English expertise. This is what I'm talking about. Okay, so look how many I have. I got a lot of little buttons I've clicked here. I don't know how many, but there's a lot. And why do I have so many? It's because the more you have, the more opportunity you're going to show your profile to different people. So to give you an example, let's just say one student. Her name's Mary. Okay, and Mary, she wants to learn English for taking a test. Okay, so maybe she wants to take TOEFL. Okay, so she will be asked by Amazing Talker to pick the subject that she wants to learn. And so she would pick this one down here, TOEFL, right? Okay, so she would click that. And what that would mean is that when she filters that name into her profile, she will only see teachers who teach that subject. Okay, it makes sense, right? It's very logical. But if you do not have this link here in your English expertise section, then Mary would not be able to see you if you were teaching TOEFL. Okay, so you gotta make sure you fill out every single thing you're willing to do in this area, even if it's something that you don't know that you have experience in. Still add it, because this is the only way that you're going to be able to find people who are interested in like taking classes with you. Like for me, English for academic study. That sounds good. I did not have that one, so I'll add that. Okay. And so there's all these other ones that, I could pick, but I don't pick them because I'm not willing to do them. Like all of these like tests, all of these specific like Hong Kong tests, English tests for, getting into certain universities, teaching kids, all this sort of stuff. Um, I don't add any of this stuff to mine, so but I do pick the ones that I am interested in, because, well, that's what I'm willing to do. And if I'm not willing to do it, then why would I force myself to try to have a student with that need, right? Because you're going to make yourself hate your job. And if you hate your job, then there's no reason to really do it, right? Okay. That might be a little personal, but that's just my opinion. Okay. So that's for that part. Oops, this is the wrong page. That's my teaching materials. All right. Now let's go on to the next one here, which is the video and thumbnail and subtitles. Okay. And we did talk about rules a little bit. Rules, sorry, I should have mentioned this first. This one is just basically saying, at the very bottom of your page, there's going to be a section that is describing what are the things that your students should and shouldn't do. Yeah, let me actually just take you back out to that really quick for my profile so you have an idea. Okay, and that is right here on this section. So class rules. Make sure that you have this really written out clearly, which is, telling them what they should do and what they shouldn't do. Because if you have a student who doesn't follow your rules, then you have a few choices of how to, go about fixing that. Do you want them to still be your student? Do you want to maybe give them a refund? Do you want to not give them a refund? If there's an emergency or not. There's some things that you should really take in consideration for students who, obey or disobey your classes. So definitely don't keep this out of your profile. It's a very important piece. A lot of my previous mentees did not have this in there, and they received, hassle with students who would not follow those rules. Okay, let's go back to the presentation. So another really big important part is this one here: video, thumbnail, and subtitles. You can see here in my profile, I have 3 videos. You don't need to have 3, but you definitely need 1, without a doubt. And that's your self-intro video. Okay. I put one in for every language I speaking in that language. So whether it's Spanish, I'll speak in Spanish. If it's Chinese, Chinese, and Japanese, so on and so forth. And you can just put a video there, pop it on from YouTube, and then call it a day. I don't recommend that you do that. I recommend that you add a thumbnail, and a thumbnail, basically, just so you know, is just this picture on your video. And this, in my opinion, is a humongous way to get yourself students. We can look at mine here. It's kind of small, but even though it's small, what can you see? This is the reason why I'm looking at it here instead of looking at it on my profile page, is that you can still see most of the words, right? The only ones that you can't see are like the ones right here, but that's okay. It still doesn't matter. The ones that do matter are these ones. This one, grammar, this one, writing, this one, pronunciation, speaking, and this one, TOEFL and TOEIC. You can see all of these words, even when it's tiny. So what does that mean for a student? A student will see these words even before they click your video. Well, why is that important? Well, that's important because if they see that and they're like, oh, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a teacher who can help me with writing. Oh, he teaches grammar. I need help with grammar. Oh, TOEIC and TOEFL. That's what I need. I need a teacher for TOEIC and TOEFL. Well, guess what? You're already creating this trust with your profile. And that means you have a success page. Okay. You need to have this thumbnail. If you don't have a thumbnail, how are you going to build trust? Is basically my question to you. Okay. And so The next one here is my other videos. You have an in-class video. You just basically, if you've been on Amazing Talker for a while, or if you taught online before and you have an online video where you've taught, pop it in. It just gives you more credit to let your students know what is your teaching style. And don't get scared about sharing how you teach, because there are going to be thousands of people who look at your profile. There are going to be lots of but different types of people. But the good news is that even though we're different, we're all human, so if we see someone who's nice, enthusiastic, kind in their teaching, we're going to like that, because that's what humans like. We like kind, enthusiastic, and happy people. So having that in class video is helpful. Also, I do other things to teach English. So I have this additional video for my podcast, which is for teaching English. So if you have other additional videos, maybe you have a YouTube channel or you have a blog or something like that, you can advertise that here, so that people can really, understand, oh, wow, this person's very serious about their profession. Okay, so that's this page. Let's go on to the next one here.